Welcome students. We are studying French Revolution, class 9, chapter 1 of history, and 5 to 6 videos have already been uploaded of this chapter, and in the previous one we have studied about the Reign of Terror and the Maximilian Robespierre. Almost the revolution is completed. Some after effects of the revolution that we have studied. Reign of Terror was one such of it. In this video we'll be studying about the role of women in the French Revolution. What role did the women play there? So let us see briefly the major points that we are going to learn in this video are the status of women during the old regime. You know what is the old regime? Old regime was the French society before the French Revolution. The society in which the French people were categorized into three states. State one was the clergy, the people who were related to church. Second state was the nobility, the people involved in administrations and related to king and his other work. And state third was the commoners, all the people other than the clergy and the nobility comprised in the third state. Then we'll see status of women during and after the French Revolution. What change? What the women did during the French Revolution? What was their role in the war and the revolution? And what did they get after that? What rights were given to the women by the revolutionary government? The first government was formed, the National Assembly, then Reign of Terror we had seen. So what did women get during these two regimes? That we are going to see. Women struggle we'll see in this video, and especially we'll see the case study of Olympe De Gouges. It is the name of a woman who was active in the revolution, and when the revolution was supposed to be over, but she continued working for it. So these are the all major or the salient point that we are going to study in this video. So let's start. What was the condition of women, especially during the old regime? So women, they were mostly working, they were involved in the economic activities, women were involved in earning money. So what women were doing to earn money? They worked as seamstresses or laundresses. What is seamstresses? Seamstresses means those women who stitch clothes and take money from the people against the clothes the lady has stitched for the other customers. It means कपड़े सीने वाले persons. Then laundresses, it means washerwomen. They wash the clothes of the people for money. It means they provided the services of stitching clothes and services of washing the clothes. Then they also used in trading, like this sold fruits, vegetables and flowers. Common thing, even you might have seen women doing this work even now. They also served as the domestic servants, housemaids. Housemaids means the buys, those who maybe many of you may be having some housemaids. There may be some women who come to your house, clean the house or wash the utensils or wash the clothes, make cook food. All this work the women do. Some outside women come, they work in your house and your parents pay them money, and this is how they those people earn their money. That is domestic servants, or we can also call them maids. They worked as maids, but they did not have right to vote. Of course, some women from the rich family, even from the commoners, could study. Remember the point. Only few women from educated or rich or both families could study. But even what could they study? They could not study about the law. They could not study about administration. They could not study about the engineering. They could only study about religion or some arts that women may need in the day-to-day life. Only few women could study, those who from the rich families, or and what could they study? There was a limited subjects available for them. So we can say that this right to education was also not available for women. And of course, we saw by doing all these types of work, women were earning money. They were involved in the economic activity. In spite of that, their main duty was supposed to perform the domestic chores. What is domestic chores? Commonly, we know that any work that any woman has to do at her house. Maybe your mother cooking food and other works that a mother do. Even fathers also can do. There is nothing wrong in that. But still, mostly we have assigned that certain types of works are to be done by women at house. So generally those work that we expect that a woman would do, expectation is not perfectly right. Even men can also do. Again say that the men can also do the work, but generally we suppose the work that women should do are known as the domestic course. So however a woman earned at that time, still they had to do the basic duty, and that is the domestic core. And later the revolution started. And I hope you remember what role did women perform in the revolution, especially when we talk about storming of Bastille. With the video with which we have started this chapter, there was storming of Bastille, 7,000 men and women, 7,000 men and women. It means the women were involved in the storming of Bastille. It means the warrior-like act, violence, when the women were involved in that. That shows an important role that women had played. Another, when the revolution took place, when the French was converted from absolute monarchy to the constitutional monarchy, when the king was a limited king with a limited power, the king entered into secret negotiations with the other kings in Europe, especially Prussia and Austria. Then National Assembly declared war on those countries, and all the able-bodied men, physically fit men, went to fight for the war. Then who took care of the factories? Who took care of the internal economy? Women were there. So we can say that women played a very important role. Such a role, of course, we can't say that women brought the revolution, but men brought the revolution. But men could not bring revolution if they were not assisted or supported by women. Revolution would have been impossible if there was no cooperation from the women's side. So in a nutshell, or we can summarize that women played a very important role in the French Revolution. Obviously, when women played an important role in the French Revolution, they had some expectations from the revolution. They expected that when the government, a revolutionary government will be formed, when the people will come to rule through their representatives, then the people's representatives would consider the work that was done by women and surely give some rights, some powers to women. That were their expectation. Let's see what happened to their expectations. What the new government, what the revolutionary government worked, did after the revolution, it was completely disappointment for the women. Women were disappointed by the French Constitution. You know, because the French Constitution simply declared women as passive citizens. Only men above 25 years of age, only men above 25 years of age who were paying the tax equal to 3 days wages of a laborer could be the active citizen, and women, being a woman, it was a disqualification to be an active citizen. So women, they wanted to be active citizens. So women set up their own political parties, especially the political parties formed to demand the political rights, especially the voting rights for women. Okay, there were several political parties formed by women. Of course, some parties were supported by men too. And what was the objective of those political parties? To secure voting right for the women, or to make women again, not again, for the first time, active citizen. And out of several parties, the most renowned, the most famous party was this, the Society of Revolutionary and Republican Women. The Society of Revolutionary and the Republican Women was the most important political club. So women formed their political parties. So what were the major demands of the women? The first demand, they want equal political rights as men. It means men were the active citizen, women also wanted to be the active citizen. All rights as men, political right that the men had, women also wanted. Why political right? The political right is a very important term here, because women had some rights, but those rights were not political. Which rights women got will show in the further video, slides. Second, they wanted right to vote. They also wanted to write that have a right to vote. It means they wanted to be an active citizen. They wanted the right to be elected to the National Assembly. It means they not only wanted right to vote, they also wanted right to be voted. They wanted power that they will stand in the election and people would vote for them. That is right to vote and right to be voted. They also wanted to be the part of the National Assembly, and they also wanted power to hold the political offices like Indira Gandhi and she Hillary Clinton. Now, the president of USA is Donald Trump. When Donald Trump was contesting the election, she was the lady who was in sharp contest. The lady gave a very tough competition to Trump, and the battle between these two, Trump and the Hillary Clinton, who would be the next president of USA, was very cut to cut, neck to neck competition was there, and so it was Hillary Clinton, but she couldn't become the first female president of USA did not get any female president till now. She could have been the one. Okay, Indira Gandhi is the first Indian prime minister, female prime minister. See here, three different things are there: right to vote, a right to stand in elections, and standing election is different because there are around, including the member of parliament of Lok Sabha and member of parliaments of Rajya Sabha. So including both the houses, we have almost 800 member of parliament, but around 20 to 30 minister in the government. It means every MP doesn't become the minister. If, because we have only one prime minister, one home minister, one finance minister, one defense minister, because there are limited ministries, so every elected MP cannot be the minister. So they want a right to vote, a right to be voted, and if they are voted to the parliament, they also wanted an office, a political office. These were the major demands of the women. Let's move on now. So I told you in the previous slide that women did not get the political rights. The revolutionary government did not give women political rights, but some rights were given to women. Which rights we'll see now, but these rights were not the political rights, they are the general rights. Like, now earlier during the old regime, women did not have right to education, but here right to education not only given but was made compulsory. Every girl will have to go to school, and all those people who are responsible for not sending a girl to school may be punished. So that was a very good beginning. At least something started which was good. There was another right. Earlier there was earlier rule, women were forced by the fathers to marry the boy the parents want. There was one good drama written by William Shakespeare, that is Midsummer Night's Dream. Midsummer Night's Dream. Such stories dealt there. So girls could not have their opinion earlier. They had to marry with the person whom their parents have chosen, and if the girl disagreed, girl could be punished. But now girl was given a choice. If she want to marry according to the parents, of course she want, but if she disagree with the parents, she had a right now to disagree with her parents. Now marriages were now converted into agreements. Agreements means there's nothing bad about that. Now every marriage is to be registered. When the marriage is registered, that registration gives women some rights. For example, suppose there is a marriage but which is not registered in the government. A person married a girl, later on after 1 month, 2 months, or 1 year, 2 year, the man leaves that woman and marries some another woman. So what would happen to the first woman? She won't be having any rights. She would be like stranded somewhere on the street. She would be left on the storms. No, that could not happen. The women also need some protection and security. So a registration of the marriages gave women such security. If a man wrongly deserts or leaves the woman, that woman can go to court and demand what her rights. So marriages were made to be registered and were made a legal compulsion now. Then divorce was also made legal now. Earlier, a man, if wanted to leave the woman, that man could leave. But now, divorce was made compulsory. Now, man had to take the divorce. But it's not about men. Even the women also could apply for divorce. If a lady is not happy with the husband, she can come out of the marriage, could apply for the divorce, and that was again important power that a woman got. And finally, we have already seen in this first right to education was given to women. But now what women would study, that was also made free. Now women could choose the professional courses means a lady could study a law degree, a lady could study a course that would help us to become a minister in the government. She could learn engineering, she could learn any business, any profession, any what can I say, vocational education, professional education she could take. And if a lady want to start some business also, it was legally possible, legally allowed for a woman to set up her own business. All these major five rights were given to the woman. So here we come to the case study of Olympe De Gouges. That the lady Olympe De Gouges, she was an author, means a writer, but other than that she was also political activist. She was politically active. She also played an important role in the revolution, but she was one of those women who were highly disappointed when the National Assembly, when the government declared women into a passive citizen. She spoke very loudly against this. Even she was against the French Constitution, which was ready in 1791, because the French Constitution started with a document, and the title of the document was Declaration of Rights of Men, sorry, Man and Citizen. She was against this. Rather, she wrote her own declaration. And what did she write? Declaration of Rights of Women and Citizen in 1791. It means the same year when the Declaration of Rights of Man and Citizen written. And that declaration she sent to the Queen Mary Antoinette and the National Assembly, and demanded that the rights she had written in that Declaration of Rights of Women and Citizen must be given to the women as soon as possible. She was very active. But then, 1792 reign of terror started. Maximilian Robespierre came to power, and he was completely against the women's political rights. So she rebelled against him. She was a revolutionary. So she was arrested by the court, which was under the control of Robespierre, and she was also later on sent to the guillotine. She was also executed. So here, this I was studying, searching some images from the France about the French Revolution. I came across this image, and what is it written? Olympe De Gouges, born 1748 to 1793. Author Dila. Here, Dila means in French. In English, we call it of. Author of Declaration of Rights of Women and of Citizen. Okay, Declaration of Rights of Women and the Citizen. This is a very big thing. This is how her identity now. So that shows that what important work this is. She was the author. She written several books, but this shows that this was the most important thing that she had written in her life. What? Declaration of Rights of Women and Citizen. So okay, now then came the reign of terror. What happened? A very bad phase for the women's movement. महिलाओं के स्ट्रगल के लिए एक सबसे बुरा दौर आया, because under the Maximilian Robespierre all the women's clubs were made illegal, they were banned, and women now could not participate in political activities. Right to vote, by the way, they did not have. Then other activities were also stopped. All those women who were struggling for women's rights were arrested, and many of them, even we have seen the example, Olympe De Gouges, were executed, were killed. But these efforts, these attempts of women, this women's struggle, achieve anything? Of course it achieved. What achieved? This women's struggle have inspired the women throughout the world to fight for the political rights. Even this women that started from France continued for the next 2 centuries and spread all over the world, did not remain restricted to France. This movement became a motivation for the women again all over the world. And finally, there was a suffrage movement. What is suffrage? Suffrage means right to vote. Simply, suffrage means right to vote. And because of this, the global suffrage movement became active between 18th and 19th centuries. Okay, 18th and 9th, 1700 और 1900, 1700 और 1800, ये 2 सेंचुरीज में महिलाओं की अपने राइट टू वोट के लिए स्ट्रगल काफी लंबे समय तक चलता रहा. और इसके लिए मोटिवेशन कहां से आई थी? स्ट्रगल फ्रॉम द फ्रेंच वुमेन, एंड फाइनली फ्रेंच वुमेन गॉट राइट टू वोट इन 1946. It's very late. Even after just few years, I think 5 years later, we gave right to vote in India also to women. Of course, because even men also got the right to vote at the same time because after independence. So this is how we come to of this video. So what have we studied in this video till now? Women did not have any political right during the old regime. Throughout the French Revolution, they participated actively, but in spite of that, when the government was made, the constitution was made, it made women a simply passive citizen. Some rights were given to women. But okay, there's again error. It's not now. I wanted to write here non, but it's a spelling mistake from my side. It has become now. Some non-political rights were given to women by the government, and which rights were they? We have seen. Women continued to struggle for the right to vote, right to be voted, and right to hold political offices. And Olympe De Gouges is one such woman who struggled for women's suffrage and ultimately was guillotined during the reign of terror, but this movement of women inspired the women's movement throughout the world. So here we come to the end of this video. In the next video, we'll be studying about abolition of slavery in France. Perhaps the next video would be the last video of this chapter. Okay. I hope you understood this. If there is any doubt, still write in the comment. I'll definitely answer. Till then, keep learning. Have a nice time. Goodbye. Thank you so much.